What's that? PlayStation is deleting 551 movies from customers' accounts, reminding us nothing digital is ever truly ours. That'd be a major bummer. It was a short-lived DC Comics series. I have a complete run of them. I haven't bought these just specifically to do that opening. That would be foolish. No props here. Anyway, this news came out of Kotaku on June the 26th, and yeah, as I said, Sony are removing films that people have bought later this year. So just to read the article, I'll put a link below if I remember. If not, there'll probably be a little screen grab of what it looks like somewhere up here. Sony is contacting PlayStation Store users who bought movies from the platform that were distributed by Studio Canal, like Terminator 2, Total Recall and Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, to say that you will no longer be able to access your previously purchased content from Studio Canal and it will be removed from your video library. There's no mention of any refunds or make goods for the affected users. Sony simply says the films are going away due to our content licensing agreements, once again reaffirming the fact that you are never truly buying anything that's digital, just temporarily renting it. That's the interesting thing about this, because typically on a digital store there are two options: you can rent or buy. And typically rent means that you have for a short period of time, typically from when you start playing the film to, there's a countdown clock and you have 48, 72, 96 hours to watch it, and then you can't access it again. If you want to watch it again, you can rent it again. Buying it makes it sound like you own it, except that with it being digital content, we know that's not the case. If you buy something digitally, you are buying the right to use it, and it's not a permanent feature either. There have been cases before where games have been removed from digital libraries or updated, not like feature updates, but completely reimagined, I guess the term is. I think there was a Warcraft game. I think it was something like Reforged, Warcraft 3 Reforged possibly, where Blizzard removed the old one and replaced it with the new fancier version, and you had no option but to have, even if you'd bought the old one, you have the new fancier version, and that caused lots of issues. To a lesser extent, the Marvel Spider-Man games, the Peter Parker character model was changed. It was the actor, the model of the character was changed to an actor that looks a touch more like Tom Holland. And if you'd bought the digital version of that, that's the version you now have, because it was updated that way. I'm sure the Deadpool game was removed from digital stores as well. I may be wrong with that, but still, just because you bought it doesn't mean you own it. So this news was brought to people's attentions by the ex-user Somatic, who posted the notification they had received from PlayStation this week, along with the unapologetic news that the purchased movies would be deleted from their account on September the 1st. The message concluded with, "Click here for a full list of affected titles that will no longer be supported. Thank you." The same warning is now reproduced on the Sony PlayStation website, along with the list of 551 films and TV series that have been pulled from people's libraries. Now, I did a video a while ago talking about Amazon and how they are sunsetting some of their very old Kindle devices. So as a result, you won't be able to buy new books. You won't be able to access the Kindle libraries that you own, but you could download them onto your device, and assuming your device doesn't go wrong, you would still have access to them. You could obviously buy a newer Kindle or download the Kindle reading app on your phone and still access your books, but for those older devices, it was effectively the end of an era. With this, you don't have that option. It's not like you can nip out and buy a newer PlayStation to access the films that you've bought, because they're being removed from your library. And looking at the list of on the Sony website, it is 551. I haven't counted them, but there are newer and older films on there. When they say Terminator 2 and From Dusk Till Dawn, those are just two big examples from the list. There are newer films on there. There's Paddington 1 and 2. There's probably other ones. Just scrolling through the list really, really quickly. I will put a link down below so that you can have a look at the list yourself. And there's an argument to be made that this isn't a big deal. Like if you've bought the films and you've lost access to the films, so what? But it's still money you've spent if you've bought any of these films. And it may be that you've bought one, it may be that you spent a few quid on it because it was in a sale, or you spent 20 quid on it because you love the film that much. Physical media obviously still exists. If you want to, you can go out. I mean, this is Terminator 2. This is the Skynet edition of Terminator 2 on Blu-ray, which I bought for a couple of quid in a charity shop. With people moving more to streaming services, you can't go into the vast majority of charity shops have oodles of DVDs and Blu-rays and VHS tapes for that matter, and you can pick them up for a couple of quid each, and they'll even sell you a DVD or a Blu-ray player for not much more. Not much more, probably 10-15 quid. I don't know, I can't remember the last time I bought a Blu-ray player. But that still doesn't get away from the fact that you've bought something thinking you own it when you really don't. You've bought it to access it for a limited period of time. This isn't like Netflix. People get the knickers in a twist quite often because Netflix will announce that, somebody will find that Netflix is removing a TV series, and you'll get people saying, I got Netflix to watch this TV series. No, you didn't. You may have thought you did, but you weren't subscribing to Friends on Netflix. You were subscribing to Netflix. And I do get it. People sign up to something like Netflix to access a thing they want to watch. But realistically, you're subscribing to the platform as opposed to the thing on the platform. With this, chances are you've bought a film not to access PlayStation's video store or whatever it's called. You've bought it because you wanted that film, and you may have thought, oh, I bought it to own it. You haven't. As the Kotaku article notes, that of course when you scroll past the endless EULAs, when you first use your PlayStation and click agree the first time you load the store, you're unwittingly agreeing that nothing you buy is really truly bought, and that it can be taken away from you at any point and there's nothing you can do about it. The same is true of your games. And again, this is something that we've seen recently. There have been a couple of live service games where people have bought the game only to find that it's been discontinued and they can no longer play it. There has been, and it's not likely to ever be the case, but GTA 6 as an example could be an absolute landmark moment for console gaming, in that when that is released later this year, it's released as digital only. There's no news of a physical edition at the moment. There might be, we can't tell. They might decide, let's put out the physical, but for the time being it's a digital download. You can go into a shop and pre-order it, but what you're pre-ordering is a case with a code to download it digitally. And what this does is, if you're a PlayStation or an Xbox owner, it locks you into their store. Because with PlayStation and Xbox, you can only really download games from their store. You can get codes from elsewhere, you download games from their store. It's slightly more complicated with PC gaming because there are a number of different stores and what have you. Chances are you're going to use Steam. But and also the other thing that a physical download does for a game like GTA 6 is it kills the resale market, because obviously if it's a digital download you have to redeem it. It's a one-use code. There are going to have been a number of gamers, especially younger gamers, who I say especially young gamers, gamers who also want to save themselves a few quid, who probably looked at the GTA 6 release and thought, oh, I'll just trade in all of these games I no longer play, get a voucher from CEX or wherever, and trade that in for a pre-owned copy. It'll save me a few quid. I can cash in all these games I don't play anymore. Job's a good one. Can't do that because there's no physical edition. CEX may get new codes in to sell, and that'll allow them to, do this, people to trade in and get the discs. But it's never going to be a case where in 5 or 6 years' time you're going to go into your CEX and see that you can get GTA 6 for a bargain price. Not that things are rarely bargain prices when it's GTA, but yeah, you're not going to go in a few years' time and see it for half price or whatever and think, oh, now's the time to get it. It doesn't exist because it's a digital download only. Now, like I say, it's not going to happen with GTA 6, but we have seen it before where digital downloads have been removed from accounts, or games have been updated or whatever, so it's not the thing that you initially bought, but it is the way that things have gone. Now, I do have a number of digital download films. I have a number of them on Google's video store, Google Play Video or whatever it's called, and it came from, now to use this as an example again, not this one, I don't have one near me, but there was a point where you would get digital download codes in the box with DVDs and Blu-rays, and you could redeem them typically using a service called Ultraviolet. When Ultraviolet stopped doing that, Google stepped in and I was able to transfer my whole Ultraviolet library to Google Video. I've bought a very, very small number of films as digital only. I have, I think there was an extended edition of Spider-Man No Way Home, which had 11 minutes more footage. I've got that on Amazon Video. I think I've got a British independent film called Walk Like a Panther on Google. Paid a couple of quid for that. And again, a couple of quid, it's not that big a deal if it goes. But it's still that thing of, I didn't click the buy to rent option. Well, not buy to rent. I didn't click the rental option. I clicked the buy option. And the idea of buy sounds more permanent than rent. Maybe that's just me. Maybe people are out there knowing that buy doesn't mean buy anymore. Or that there's a whole group of people. And there probably are. There are probably people, if they watch into this point, going, well, obviously buy doesn't mean buy as in buy. It means buy for a limited period of time. Duh. And it's just what we should accept for now. I enjoy physical media. I've spoken about it at length in this. And in reality, I do think to myself every so often, like if I want to watch a TV series, chances are I own it already. If I want to watch Terminator 2 at Christmas, I have it on DVD. I have it on Blu-ray. I can go out and buy it on 4K, and I might do, not for this reason, but I might do just because I don't mind the film. I still prefer Terminator. But that's a topic for another time, maybe. And I get it. Physical media takes up space, as you can see. All the stuff behind me isn't space free. It'd be nice if it was, and that's what the world of digital offers us. It offers us convenience. It offers us. It allows us to put other things on shelves apart from books, DVDs, CDs, LPs, whatever it happens to be. But when that convenience comes at the cost of you might not have it anymore even though you've bought it, that's where I have a bit of an issue. Anyway, that's all I've got to say on the subject really, unless something new comes up. I just thought I'd cover it. It's very early on a Sunday morning. This video is going up on the same day, there is that. There's a heat wave at the moment, so apologies if I'm waffling even more than usual, but yeah. Thanks for watching, like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you all again next time.